Hello friends, good morning. Myself Dr. Kanak Saxena, Genetics and Plant Breeding Department. Today we are going to discuss about very important topic of plant breeding, that is combining ability. In today's lecture, we are going to talk about what is combining ability, types of combining ability, general combining ability, specific combining ability, how to estimate combining ability, and lastly how we interpret the results. So let's start with the concept of combining ability. The concept of combining ability first time given by Sprague and Tatum. Sprague and Tatum in 1942 while working on maize. Now, what is combining ability? It is the ability of a genotype to transfer its superior performance from their parents to their offsprings. Combining ability analysis helps in the evaluation of inbred. How? Inbreds, what is inbred? Inbred are the lines which are obtained by the continuous selfing and cross-pollinated species, the line which we get inbred line. And how we evaluate the inbreds in terms of their genetic value and selection of suitable parents for hybridization. How? Because we took only inbred in the hybridization program having superior performance, so that they transfer their superiority to the next generation. Okay, and from that we get the superior cross combinations which may utilize for the commercial exploitation of heterosis. So, the value of an inbred line depends on its ability to produce superior hybrids in combination with the other inbred. For combining ability analysis, the crosses have to be made either in diallel, partial diallel, and line into tester fashion. These three biometrical designs are most commonly used for combining ability analysis. Combining ability is useful tool in the development of synthetic variety. Now, what is synthetic variety? The variety which is developed by crossing of number of inbred lines having good GCA in all the combinations so that they combine well with each other. Combining ability helps in estimation of GC and SC effects which are based on the first order statistics. So this analysis is statistically robust. Now it also provides the information the gene action involved in the expression of various characters, whether they are governed by the additive gene action or non-additive gene action. So it helps in deciding the breeding procedure for the genetic improvement of that characters. So combining ability analysis is equally applicable in both self and cross-pollinated crops. Now, let's come to the types of combining ability. The first is general combining ability, second is specific combining ability. Now, always remember that when we talk about the general combining ability or GCA, it means we are related to the we are talking about the inbred line or genotype which included under the hybridization. Okay, we are talking about these inbreds used as a parents. So GCA is GCA is related to the parents, and SCA specific combining ability is related to the cross combinations. Okay, P1, P2, these are the inbred line used as a parents, and the cross combination we get F1. When we talk about the cross combinations, we calculate the SC effect. When we talk about the parents, we calculate the GC effect. Okay. Now let's come to the general combining ability or GCM. What is general combining ability? It is the average performance of a genotype in a series of cross combinations is called general combining ability. GC is estimated from half-shift family. What is half-shift family? It means only one parent is common in the cross combination, P1 and P2. Suppose this one is always a common parent. used as a common parent during the calculation of a GCA. For example, parent P are involved in 15 different crosses, then the average performance of these 15 crosses will give an estimate of GCA for parent P. Now let's understand by taking an example. Suppose P parent is common in all these crosses IR8 and IR64. In these cross combinations only P parent is common. It means half shift family. Okay, and these cross combinations average performance of these crosses gives information about the estimate of GCA for parent P. Now let's come to the important points, main features of the general combining ability, in which GCA variance is primary a function of additive genetic variance. When we talk about general combining ability, always remember we are talking about the parents, and the character or variance governed by the genes are additive gene action, and if epistasis is present then GCA will also indicate a additive type of non-allelic interactions. GCA is estimated from the half shift families because only one parent is common, and related to the narrow sense heritability. How? Narrow sense heritability because it is already additive gene governed by the additive gene actions, and we already know narrow sense heritability is the additive genetic variance upon the total phenotypic variance, so it is the directly proportional to the additive variance. It helps in selection of suitable parents for hybridization, very important. GCA means selection of suitable parents for the hybridization. Now let's come to the specific combining ability. What is a specific combining ability? It is the performance of a parents in a specific cross combinations. It means deviation from the GCA is called SCA. Okay. Sometimes certain hybrid combinations perform better or poorer would be expected on the basis of average performance of the parent inbred line. Okay. So deviation of the particular cross from the GCA is called SCA or specific combining ability. Now let's talk about the main features of specific combining ability. Now SCA variance is mainly the function of the dominance variance, but if epistasis is present, mainly dominant variance. Okay, if epistasis or non-like interaction is present, then all the three types of interactions are present, or dominant type. Okay, additive dominant, all the three type of epistasis are included in a specific combining ability. Now it is also estimated from the full shape families. Now what is full shape families? Two parents are common. Okay, now variants are positively associated with the heterosis, obviously, because they are the function of dominance variance, and if we talk about the dominance variance, then heterosis would be rewarding. It also helps in identification of superior cross for the commercial exploitation of heterosis. So when we talk about the SE or specific combining ability, always remember non-additive type of gene action in their effects, as well as all the three type of interactions are present. Second is broad sense heritability is present. It leads to the heterozygosity. Hybrid vigor or heterosis would be rewarding. No use of selection, and non-heritable and non-fixable because governed with the dominance variance. Okay. Now we all know that GCA is related to the parents and SCA is related to the cross combinations. Now if there is some cross combination showing high SCA effect, now there are three possibilities are there. Suppose one parent show high GCA effect and other is high GCA effect, so it govern the additive type of gene action and also additive type of gene action, so in resulting they gives the high GCA effect. Now there is another cross combination which give high GCA parent and one is the low GCA parent, so it govern the epistatic effect. Okay, so ultimately gives the high SE effect. Now there is a third cross combination in which poor GCA value is low, one parent and another is also having low value, so they are governed with the dominance effect and they are the dominance, and resulting both in cross combination together they are over dominance, and it is responsible for the high GCA effect. So here's the concept: when the cross combination gives high SC effect, then these are the three possibilities are there. Okay, now let's talk about the estimation of combining ability. Half sieve and full sieve meetings are required for the estimation of combining ability. The important steps for the estimation of combining ability are: we have to take material for the evaluation of combining ability, like genotype, varieties, or inbred lines. These are the material. Okay, now selected lines are crossed in a definite fashion, either in the line into tester or partial diallel or diallel. After that, the cross combination we get, or all the single cross are evaluated along with the parents in replicated trial, and observations for different characters are recorded on different trials. Now let's come to the interpretation of results. If GCA variants are higher than the SCA variants, then there is a preponderance of additive gene action. And in this situation, progeny selection will be effective for the improvement of that trait. Now, preponderance of additive gene action, this type of gene action is heritable and fixable. So, early generation selection of the genotype become more efficient, and promising hybrids can be recognized and selected based on the production of the GC effect. Okay. While if SCA variants are higher than the GCA variants, it means the character is governed by the non-additive gene action, dominance and epistatic. So here heterosys breeding would be rewarding because non-additive gene action are non-heritable and non-fixable. So selection should be taken in later generation, and these impacts are fixed in homozygous lines, because if we select in early generation and it is governed by the non-additive gene action, it is non-heritable and non-fixable, so there is no use of early generation selection. Okay, if there is a case both GC and SC variants are equal, then additive and non-additive genes are equally important in the expression of character. In this situation, the reciprocal recurrent selection method would be adopted for the population improvement. So if GCA variance is high, okay, is dominant, then progeny selection or selection would be rewarding. If SCA variance is high, then heterosys breeding would be rewarding. Okay, and if both are equal, then in this situation reciprocal recurrent selection would be efficient for the population improvement. Okay, now several techniques are suggested for the estimation of combining ability, like top cross, polycross, diallel cross, line into tester, partial diallel, North Carolina design, and triallel cross, quadriallel cross. These are the biometrical techniques which are used for the estimating the combining ability. The most commonly used are the line into tester, partial diallel, and diallel. So these are the techniques which are used for the estimation of combining ability analysis. So this is all about the combining ability and its effects. In our next video lecture, we discuss each and every technique separately. Okay. So thank you so much.